Hey guys, Kier here from the Cartoon Nation, and welcome back to another video. I really don't know what other content to make other than Fortnite, because that's all I really have been playing. Honestly, that's all I've been playing. This Saturday, I don't know how long I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to do multiple ones just throughout the day, but this Saturday, I am doing a Come Game With Me live stream over on Twitch. Whereas, if you have Fortnite, I'm going to do it on Fortnite just to see how it goes. But if you have Fortnite, we will be playing some Zero Build. I invite everybody that has it to come add me on here. That's the only way you'll be able to find me is if you look up my name, which is Peter Snyder. Add me on Fortnite or add me on Xbox. And we will play some Fortnite together. Now, lately I haven't been doing too terribly good. So there's that. But I do plan on trying to figure some shit out to be able to secure more wins. I'm trying to figure out which places have the highest / lowest drop rates, which ones have the best drop and return, which is basically, if you drop here, are you going to get good guns or are you going to get bad guns? My internet's being whack right now, that's why it's doing what it's doing. Give me 1 second. Spotify's probably picking up. Watch how it's updating. Also doesn't help. I'm probably already dead. Oh no. Shit! Fucking stop it. I actually survived that somehow. Don't know how, but I did. But yeah, rate of returns are one of the major things you need to factor in whenever make a decision on a drop. Don't just drop, don't do what Philly Fan does and drop where a lot of people are. That's a good way to get killed, first off. The fucking shit. There it is. Good way to get killed. That's all I have to say about that. Now, I won't say, like, it's entirely bad to drop with a lot of people. Like, as you saw, there was, what, 3 people that were near me when I dropped. Now, depending on the location, in the typical, what I tend to call drop rate, the rate of which how many people average a drop there, like it might have been a lot within that 2 to 3 people. I'm not going to say that what I'm doing right now is a good idea, because no, it never is. Never is a good idea. Did it pay off? Yes. I would say this did majorly pay off. So, if you know the payoff rate is going to be at least good to where you're at compared to what you're doing, I'd say at least try it. Compared to what I'm doing, my payoff rate's pretty fucking decent. Where is his vehicle? Oh, it's over here. Oh, that's why he left it. That's stuck. will say communication is the best way to go about what you need from your teammates. I'm not gonna say, like, be controlling of, like, I want this, or only I can have that type thing. That's not communication, that's just being a bitch. But yeah, communicate. If I've had better communication with in certain games with my teammates, I would have probably ended up faring a lot better. Than what I did in those matches, which we didn't get as high as I hoped we would. But still, the key thing that was missing was mainly communication. Come on. There we go. I don't want to say that's what could have been the deciding factor of the game. But that definitely plays a huge role in whether it's a game worth playing or not. I've mentioned Bot, Reaper. I've mentioned them and Jay all in videos before. One of my biggest things, I play Fortnite with them every once in a blue moon. It's not they don't get on it as much as I do, or my friend Billy can, as much as we do. But one of the biggest things is I played a game with them, and the biggest issue that we had was we didn't communicate enough. Like, we actually barely communicated at all throughout the game. We were mainly just sitting there silent, calling out, doing just short call-outs like one shot, no shield, double team, stack, just simple little shit like that. Was the basic callouts that we were doing. So it wasn't like it was completely wasted per se. But also the main communication within the entire match was null and void, basically. Like, there was absolutely none. We ended up getting 20th, and we got pissed off, yeah. That was our third one in a row. That we got 20th, and I'm like, yo, we should treat it like it's blackout. He's like, what you mean? It's like, yeah, blackout, you know? Like, how we played blackout before? How we did other battle royales? We're sitting there like, what do you mean? How we did blackout? And then they got to it and said, oh, you mean run it? I'm like, yeah, we could run it. Like, it's not going to be the same call-outs, necessarily. But it's going to be basically the same thing. Like, there's someone shooting this direction. Oh, they're right there. Could be similar. It won't be the same, obviously, but it's similar. Like, instead of just calling out, hey, this guy did this or this guy got that, just fucking God damn it. I got 8th. I needed 7th. Yeah, I literally need just 2,000 to level up. But it's basically like, what are you doing? So a lot of our callouts are custom ones. We don't necessarily go with like it's I'm trying to think of like stuff. It's like, oh, double stacked. Teams a 3-shot, like stuff like that. I don't know what normal people use as call outs. But our call outs are a little more discreet. Like, we'll basically be like, it's a doctor's office. Meaning that there's 3 people there. The nurse, receptionist, the doctor. It's a dentist office. There's 2 people there. Um, we'll basically throw like different stuff like that on. If I like in one place, like where can I see the map? Collections, okay, characters. Say I'm at right here, Redline Rig. If I'm at Redline Rig and I say they made me a sandwich, that's basically saying the whole team's there. Two is on the bottom, 2 is on top. I can't get out. Basically say either option I take, I'm dead. If I say with extra fixins, basically 2 on top, 2 on the bottom, at least. But there's other teams there as well, so it's not just one singular team. Like, that's the difference between what my team would call out, and then, like, in tournaments, you would hear one shot, they're a one shot. They don't know exactly who they're talking about. I'd be like, yo, Jay, mop it. Or I would be like, yo, Reaper, cabinet. Other teams will hear us shout the call outs and be like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, what does that mean? Basically, if we say mop it, that means get your health up. Like, hide, get your health up, mop the blood. We say cabinet, medicine. Get your shield up. If we say janitors here, it's basically saying that one and or more of us are there to ensure that they don't die. They can mop the blood up. If we say like 3 cabinets, I'm just like, cabinets are here. They say how many, we could go 3 cabinets. That means the other 3 of us showed up in order for them to be able to get their shield up. If they ask how many janitors showed up, we could say 2. That means 2 of us are there, 1 still unaccounted for. Like, that's the whole thing with it. I'm not gonna, like, I don't have the time to go over all of our calls. We've had so many. In the few years that we were doing it, we were switching up calls and shit like that. We weren't just being like, hey, like, we weren't saying muppet, we weren't saying cabinet in the beginning. Like, that wasn't at all what we used to say. Oh, my internet's out. I can tell because I can't move. This is very good. Yeah, it says very good. Why is it not connecting? I'll read that real quick. we still do use some, but we used to use a lot of police code. Would be like, we'd make our own, like, 10 code, but it would be different things. Like, we'd go, 1118, there's an 1118 in progress. That means there's 2 people on me. If I would say 1010, that means negative. 10-4 means okay. We used to go 1036 and 1038. 1036 meant I'm trying to find a safe place to heal. 1038 is I'm healing. And then 1035 and 1037 is I'm trying to find a good place to plate up. And then that's 1035. 1037 is I'm plating up. Like, that's how we used to do things. Like, I don't remember all of that old code, but that was like our original code that we would use. If someone would ask 1003, then they're asking, does one of us have a car? And we would say 1042, 1044, something like that. Whatever the last number is signifying how many seats are in that said car. We'd go from 1 to 4. But our main thing is, like, was there enough for everybody? Was it only enough for 2 people? Was it a single seat car? Like, they were the questions. And a lot of the answers are simple. We'd say that. I remember one of them was like 1002, which was, can you swing by? We'd say 10-4. I know a lot of us would just explicitly say only 10-4. Some of us would be like 10-4 drop ping, and that basically meant ping your location. So we had a marker physically on the map to follow, not just have to find you by basically blind luck. Now, if we wanted in that bad, we would drop the ping and go in. Did a lot of us actually want in that bad? Yeah. Did we stick it out a lot of times? Yeah, we were good. We were good. Did we win everything? No. But did we get a lot of shit done? Yes. I know a lot of what we did was zombie related. That's a lot of what tournaments we would do. It's like you would have to get to a certain round in zombies before like the other teams with only so many downs allotted per team. So, was it hard? Yeah. But we would do it. We would fucking do it. Like, it wasn't as stressful as some people would describe it as. I asked someone, their teams were known as the Bears. They were one of our oldest rivals. And I asked them, I'm like, was it even worth it? They're like, oh yeah, it was worth it. Every second of it was worth it. I asked, what's the most stressful part that you ever took place in? And he said, try not to go down. That was the most stressful thing. I was like, how did you get over it? I did like a whole interview thing for him, because I was helping with the one paper that they were writing about the old teams. And I asked, basically, like, how did you work through it? How did you know what to do? Stuff like that. It's like, oh, we had our own codes. I will not be sharing, so don't ask. But basically, because of that, we knew who was in immediate trouble, who had time. We knew who didn't need help. Stuff like that. And I'm like, so you guys just didn't all stick together? He's like, no. Why would we? Why would we clump together to make it easier for the enemies to find us, rather than fan out, basically hide, and leave it at that? I'm like, you got a point. Like, I can see where you're coming from. I'm just not quite there yet. Please, like, elaborate. He's like, think about this. Basically, say there's 5 people. And 2 people are on one team, 2 people are on another. The 5th one's on its own. Okay. If Team A spreads out, they can cover more ground. They still have communication. If Team B spreads out, they still got communication. But if all of the teams spread out, then every team has more chance of running into another person secretively versus not running into anybody. Oh, I have max food already, damn. But why would Team A and B stick together, not find anyone, and then they might be ambushed? Think about that. If they stick together and say Mr. J is on one team and Mr. S is on another. Okay. Mr. J and Mr. S are on Team A. Team B has T and Z. So that's it. T and Z spread out. Not bad. They have more ways to find people. They have more ways to do what they're doing versus Team B that didn't spread out. Did I get that? No, I didn't. I could have sworn there was someone had a thing here. I know someone shooting. Oh. No! Damn it. They had the Nitro Fist. But I did level up. Haha, they died. I gotta watch them die before I left. But, yeah, like, if they... Team B, yeah, they might be able to take on one person by themselves. But then, you also have Team A. You have Mr. S. And then Mr. J. Them two people on Team A. Mr. S hides in a tree when he sees Team B coming. He shoots one in the head. Boom, dead, done. He's out. The other guy don't know where he's at. Mr. S tried to tell him, tree. He's like, what do you mean, tree? He dies. So the other guy on Team B has to survive by himself in order to revive his partner. As soon as his partner comes back, he'll be good. But then the guy from Team A that's in the tree, boom, headshot, boom. Team B's eliminated. But then you have the guy from Team C, the lonely guy. The one that his partner will not come back. He's the interesting one that you need to watch. Not because he knows what he's doing, but because of one simple thing. He is unpredictable. He is the one that no one knows what he is doing or where he's at. That's the thing. Because he don't have a partner that they can investigate to give up his position. His partner's long gone. That's all you got. So what do? Now, Team C, he hides. He's hidden. He's stalked around. He's praying the dead of night. He knows their every move. He knows what they're doing. So what does he do? He waits till they get on that path that he knows they're going to take. Because they're predictable. Once they step foot on that path, boom, takes out one. But he leaves them alive. Just enough for his other teammate to be like, hey, he came, but he left. Okay, his other teammate comes in. Boom, takes out the other teammate, done. But he was just one man. How did he take out two? That's the thing. If the ones that are alone can predict the predictable, that may seem unpredictable, they drive the game. You gotta know you gotta think as the mind of your enemy before your enemy uses your mind. That's what drives it. That's why communication is important. Because Team A never told his teammates that he could be around. He just said he left. He saw him disappear. That's it. So he assumed he left. Boom, he left. Put your guard down. Guard's down. He gets wiped out. Second one, Team B just kept saying one thing. Tree, tree, tree. There could have been 50 trees around. But he's saying tree. Which tree? His partner didn't know. He could have been like, the tree in front of me. Or the tree to the left diagonal. Or the right diagonal. Why would you specify that? Instead of just saying tree and have him look in all the trees? Because if he says left diagonal tree, his partner can pin maybe one, maybe 3 trees. And like, okay, those 3 trees are left diagonal. He's in one of them. So I'll take my shot. And if he's in one, I will know that I hit him. So he shoots 1. Boom. Shoots 2. Boom. No hit markers. Okay. He's not in either one of those trees. Third tree. He sees something in there. Lines up. Boom. Headshot. That partner's down. So, since that partner's down, when the lonely guy, the lone wolf from C, takes out the other guy's partner, it's done. There's no one to come back, so no one's revived. It's done. Then you have B and C rush together at that instance. The stackers versus the lone wolf. The thing is, if the stackers are going for a building, then they got it. Because they just got to know where they're coming from. So say the stackers are going to the building on the right, and that's where the lone wolf, he's up top. Nowhere else to go. Stackers are heading up the stairwell. Now, the lone wolf can get a gun or two and unload down that stairwell, maybe taking out one guy before he has to reload and switch guns or whatever. The thing is, the second guy that's there that just watched his partner go down, he's already fully loaded. So he charges up the stairs and around as the lone wolf's reloading and takes the lone wolf out, wins the game. That is how communication is key. Now, I probably lost half of you just in that, but it's important. Because just because you have communication, just because you can communicate, doesn't mean you don't have to communicate. I can say I can keep yelling tree all day. Am I going to get my point across? No. Why? Because of which tree. I'm not specifying which tree. Like, if we get shot at and we know the direction, northwest, sniper. Now, that northwest coordinate, there might be a mountain there. So, they know he's using mountainous cover to hide. Once that mountain has been exposed as a sniper's nest, it's being watched. They're going to have me try to make my way behind a barrier. Get down, revive me. Once I'm revived, boom. No need for that mountain anymore. Or anything like that. They don't need it. It's done, it's fixed, that's that. So, what do? You go with the next one. And then the next one, and then the next one. And before you know it, you have a system down so, like, it fits together so well that you can call out Northwest Mountain and they can almost pinpoint exactly where on the mountain, just by how your voice sounds when you said it. But where on the mountain? Is it the top range, is it the side? Is it the bottom? Like, where out on the mountain? Because your system's fitting together so fucking well. That's what you need to think of when you create a team. Is it going to be people you can get along with? Is it going to be people that you know? Is it going to be people you can communicate with on a daily basis? Run drills, run practice, do this, do that, do this, do that. Stuff like that. Is it going to be people like that? Or is it going to be people that are not going to listen to you, are not going to do this, or stuff like that? And you just can't do shit. Which way is it going to swing? That's the main thing. Which way is it going to swing? Now, we'll say I do have a tournament running Saturday. Whether I'm in the duo tournament or not for it, like my tournaments, I will be posting. I'm going to have my live on any gameplay I do for a tournament when I do it, unless it's like a zombie round, whatever. Then I'll just be posting the updates to it. But on the other hand, this Saturday we're doing a Fortnite tournament, kind of. It's duo, squads, solos, whatever. It's an all of the above tournament, whereas, say, you want to break away from your team and do a solo game for a tournament, you can. You would face against your team. You'd be known as A, B, C, or D for it. Say, I break away from our team, I'd be known as SDSGA, and then Philly fan would be SDSGB. That's how it would mark it. We're going against each other, but our team name would be what we're marketed under. It wouldn't be Kira Schneider or Philly fan. So there's going to be a lot of different people and stuff like that. I will have, we're finalizing everything Friday. Everything will be completely finalized. Well, the tournament is tomorrow, kind of. Finalization is like around midnight tomorrow. Well, it would be midnight tonight by the time you'd see it. So Friday would be the tournament. So I want to see if Brett wants to play it, do it with me. It would be on Friday. If he does, then we would run that. All games would be that day. And basically, we would need live updates and stuff like that, running it. I will be doing it on Twitch. And how it would work would be kills and placement is the two deciding factors. Say two people got 12th place, but one person got 3 kills, one person got 4 kills. The person that got 4 kills would move on, the person that got 3 would not, because that would be the final slot. So I'm not 100% sure how many people I would be facing, whether it's just purely 100 teams, or if it is like if it's 100 teams, or if it's more, I should say, or less, because not every person does it. The teams that are in like the MCE tournaments, not every team has to register for a tournament. A lot of them do. So typically we do go after 100, but not everyone has to register for a tournament. If they're doing a Mob of the Dead tournament and nobody likes that, then we can't force them to play it. Whereas if we're doing a prize tournament, the only way to get the prize would be to enter and stuff like that. So we would be running that. We were supposed to have quarterly tournaments. Shit went down. I never did update you guys on that. Never even spoke about it. But shit went down. Some people were sending not so good stuff for the tournaments and doing what we consider illegal activity. It's not really illegal by law, but it breaks our code and our rules to do it. We ended up tracking it back. We know who did it, and we gave them a warning and basically told everybody that was involved. We know exactly who all is involved, and if we see it again, you guys will be terminated. And it was 3 of the staff members that were doing it. So there's that. So far, so good. But I don't want to push my luck or anybody else's luck on that, just for the simple fact that it could and might happen again once they think we forgot, which we won't, because we put it under a hidden file that only a select few of us that have higher access can actually access. So it's marked permanently on their record in the MCE, as well as being hidden from them, so they would not know. Now, I know people would probably be like, why wouldn't you let them know that it's going to be on the record, and does it transfer if they get a new job, or if they go to work for another tournament company, or anything like that? No. All of our tournaments are run privately. They are non-funded. Like, there's no big company that funds them. There is no actual cash prize. We don't give out anything that has any monetary value in the real world. We just give out our own form of currency as prizes and stuff like that. Everything that's done in the tournaments is voluntary. That's why we won't require like all 100 teams to participate in every single tournament we have. And basically, being a staff member, such as me, is a voluntary thing as well. I could resign at any minute, and there would be no legal repercussions or anything like that due on me. But the only thing is they could ban me from becoming a staff member. And also, if I leave for not a actual valid reason, they could ban me just in general of being in any tournament after my leave. So it's not just do this or do that and write, but there is a lot of, if you do this, we could terminate your existence here in the MCE, depending on your reason. Say I stepped down because my grandma was sick and I had to take care of her and I couldn't do the tournaments anymore. They would understand. And they, more than likely, they would tell me, hey, we will hold your position. We will not fully let you step down, but we will pause your position. We will have people take care of the teams you supervise and everything like that. And once you want to resume, or once you're out of that situation and you still want to leave, then we will fully terminate your position. But until then, we will have your position on hold and let us know if you want to come back or continue with the termination process, and you will be allowed back in any regard. So that's how we handle a lot of things. But if it's just like me bored, I quit, just be like, thanks for letting us know your position will be terminated immediately, and your spot here at the MCE regarding admin or player will be permanently terminated, and any requests to join a pre-existing team and or try to get a spot as a non-admin in the MCE will be denied. Then you will have no access to the MCE thereafter. That's basically shit that goes on. In the time of me being there, which I've been there since I was in 9th grade, I helped fund it to where how big it is now. There's people in different states that are friends of friends of friends of friends of people that have been in there, ex-MCE employees and players and stuff like that. That's how we grow, is by the employees and players spreading the word. We do not put ourselves out there. We do not do any of that. But basically, because of all of that, anyone that says, like, you can't do this, you can't do that, and it are basically wrong. I had someone threaten legal action against me because I told them their position was fully terminated and they would not be allowed to come back to DMC after they walk out, and they're like, "Oh, you can't do that. Like, you can't deny me back in." I'm like, "Yes, we can. This is a private organization. This is non-funded. No government. No money comes in at all whatsoever. This is a for-fun organization, basically. We do have the right to refuse service, and we will exercise that right because in our policy it says if you do not have a valid reason for stepping out and not becoming a player, and becoming a non-player and or not admin, you will not be allowed back in. Now, some people think that's too harsh, stuff like that. It's not. For the simple fact, if a lot of people are like, "Hey, I'm leaving because my life's just been too hectic, my job's been too hectic, my schooling's been too hectic, I just can't keep up with this and that," like, okay, it's understandable. You get your life together. Come back if you want to. But if it's just someone, "Oh, I'm leaving because I'm bored, so I might come back, I might not, I don't know." No, don't come back. Don't bother. If you're bored of it, you're bored of it. Never come back. Like, you won't be bored of it then. It's kind of like if you're being a dick on how you leave, we're going to be a dick and not let you come back. That's what people don't understand. I've talked to multiple people about it, and that's just the main thing. Like, someone's grandma actually called me because we told their grandson they're not allowed to come back. Grandma called me. And it's like, "Why don't you let my grandbaby come back? Like, I don't know what he did for you to kick him out, but you should let him come back." And I explained, "Ma'am, we did not kick him out." "Why is he saying you didn't?" Say, "No. He wants to get you mad at us, so when he wants to come back, he can come back. But we have a contract that you agreed to. Not every player has agreed to it. Not every player has seen it. It's not really legally binding, but it's our policies, and if you want to look at them, you can look at them at any time. Like, we just tell you, hey, these are our policies. If you want to look at them, you can look at them." Basically. But if they don't want to look at them, they don't have to look at them. That's up to them. But they're still supposed to abide by them. But we explain that it's within our policy if they do not give us a good reason, and we have reasons listed, like the life being too hectic, or my grandma needs medical care. I need to provide medical care for my grandma, or this or that stuff. If they don't have a good reason, then they're not allowed to come back because it's being rude to their teammates, being rude to us, and we just can't risk them coming and going, taking up a spot of another potential person that actually wants to be part of this. And she's like, "I understand that, but what do you mean?" I explained, like, if he would say his life is getting too hectic, he needs to step back, or if, like, you needed, like, full-time, like, care, and he needed to leave for a while, he would be allowed to come back in those two instances. But his reasoning was because he was bored. So because he was bored, we told him, "We're just going to bore you if you do come back, so never come back. You are barred from coming back." And she's like, "But why?" It's like, and I explained, if he's just going to come back and then leave again and come back and leave again, he's taking up a space that someone that actually wants to be part of this and wants to be a helpful member of a team and keep going on something like that would actually, like, not be helped, because he's taking up that spot that someone that actually wants to be a part of this could have been in. And she's like, "Oh, I understand, honey. Like, you don't have to explain anymore. I will let him know that he is not allowed back, and if he brings it up, I will whip him. I'm like, okay, Grandma, you do you. Thanks for understanding. She's like, oh, no, no problem, honey. He does this all the time. He said he wanted to do a sport, and he dropped out 2 weeks later, and the coach told him he wasn't allowed to come back. Well, he come me. I talked to the coach, and I explained to him you can't come back because you can't keep quitting in the middle of the season and then come back after you quit for 2 months. That's not how games work, not how sports work, not how teams work. I'm like, oh, you were the most understanding person I ever had of that. It's like, oh, thank you. But, like, other people are like, oh, then why didn't you just let him back? Or why'd you let him in the first place? It's because we don't know the person's character before they join. Unless it's a personal friend of someone that is currently in there, no one could really tell us how they are. Because there's a lot of people that do have the recommendation passwords or passcodes. A lot of them are outdated, but they're still there. They're still active because of how they got them to actually join. It's like they're allowed to join, but if it's not an active member that's there and they join, then we can't tell who's who and what's what. Like, we had an incident a couple months ago that one of our staff members had a guy join, which, excuse me, any person joining or leaving the MCE is supposed to go by all members of staff, the treasurer, like the boss, you got the head boss, and then you have all 10 admins that is supposed to be ran by. You have the top 5, bottom 5. Top 5 have been here the longest, the bottom 5 had not. It was run by only one person. His name was Mark. He's not here anymore. That's why I can disclose his name. But Mark, he agreed to it. Like a guy in, he joined a team that only had 3 people. He kept making weird advances towards 3 other female employees, as well as threatening me and 3 of our other males, and then also making weird conversations with us, making us basically uneasy and not wanting to be around him at all. So basically, we told him he had to leave. And then we found out about the Finasco. I don't even know if I said that word right. But we found out about the situation and how he got in, and found out he is not legally supposed to be here. He has not been told what's what. He has not went through the policies. He has not been accepted in general. He don't have a number made. He don't have anything made for it. And everyone has a number. Everyone does. Basically, if you don't have a number, you're not part of us at all in any way, because I'm the one that administers the numbers. I have random numbers that I administered. They're not in any particular order, but because of that, they need to be numbered. So we brought it up to the top dog, call him D. We talked to D and explained, there's this guy, he's making us uncomfortable. He thinks he's part of us. He's not. He's never got a number. He's never been talked about. He just showed up into a team. And D looked into it. Found out Mark accepted him and never told anyone. Also found out another one of our admins, the one that recommended him to Mark, and told him that she would date him if he would allow him in, not really explaining the whole situation. So, Mark, that was basically the straw that broke the camel's back. Mark got terminated and permanently banned because he's messed up many a times before, with just different things, and then that was the final straw. We have who we have now as the boss. Um, the guy that tried to join that never had the number, he was permanently kicked. Because just his actions were deplorable, and so we didn't want him around anymore, even in the future. And then you had the admin that had a clean record. Like, she had a very, very clean record. So we gave her a warning and told her that anything like this, she will be getting a mark on her record, which will be staying on her permanent record within the MCE. We don't get rid of any records, even if they have been permanently barred, just so we know who they are. But she will be getting a mark next time she tries a stunt like this. And basically, if she gets 3, she will be no longer an admin. She will be down to a player, and if she gets any for a year while she is a player, she will be kicked out for an undeterminable amount of time right now. But it depends on the seriousness of the last mark. It could be anywhere from 5 days to 5 years. Like, there was one person that was barred back in 2018. It was a whole team that was. There was like 3 of them. You had the Sharks, you had Bullets, and then you had another team. All 3 of those teams were barred back in like 2018. And they're not allowed back in because they had a 5-year ban. So as of 2023, as of last year, actually, it would have been more August of last year, because we do, like, if you're barred from August, the month, the first part of the month after that takes place. Like, you can't come back in, like, whatever the rest of the month, but also the first is your official mark. So if it's 5 years, it will be August 1st, 5 years from now. And they're actually back, but we don't have room for them. And they said they learned from their mistake about not being able to get in. They can still see events through friends and stuff like that and watch how they're doing. They missed it, and basically because of that, they said they'll be on the waiting list until we get more of whatever we're doing to accept more people, because now we're down to 50 teams instead of 100 because we can't accept that many people. So yeah, that's basically the situation on that right now, even though nobody asked. Situation on Fortnite, situation just in general of what's going on. But yeah, Friday I will be doing a live stream. It will be the Fortnite battle. I will update everybody's place near the end because we have to give basically live updates and stuff like that. And you'll know if you are kicked basically before a game. We'll be like, okay, there's no spots open. If you don't have this, by the time you're done with the game, then you don't make it. Stuff like that. So it's not that hard to tell, but also it's not a whole lot easy as well. So we have all that going on. We have that's just bare bones basic. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that for tonight. I will talk on the stream later on more rules and regulations and the teams that are joining, the people that are joining, everything like that. I will talk about that. I will tell you which teams to look out for. For the live updates, I will tell you which teams did good, which teams passed, which teams didn't, stuff like that. It is a one-day tournament, so everything will be concluded within that day of whatever. But that's basically it. Also, when it gets up to higher rounds, like after, I want to say the third round of eliminations, you have to meet a requirement just to go into the next round. So, round 4 could be the ending or the beginning of a very, very long tournament. The eliminations have just so many seats. The ones where it's a specific action you have to do before you end the round, before you get in, is an unlimited seating. So it could be the same people for like 6 rounds or whatnot, or it could be just 2 people fighting it out until one of them fucks up. That's basically it. It's not like your traditional tournament. But I will tell you my placement. I'll read off the names of everybody that's going on. I might just go under the pseudonym of SDSG instead of an A or a B, because if only one person is playing in your entire team, you could have your team name as your name instead of having the A or B as an individual. So we have that whole thing running. But yeah, I will talk to you guys later, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.